New comic book day is right around the corner again, so let's take a look at the books on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video series where I take a look at the books coming out. I'm going to tell you what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and we'll even talk about some new number ones that are on my radar as well. For this week's New Comic Book Day, Wednesday, September 11th, 2024. This year is flying by. But anyway, we're going to talk about all these books that I am going to grab at my LCS, Fight or Flight Comics in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, as I filmed this, I think the announcement has been made about the grand opening, but I'm going to stay mum just in case I'm wrong. So follow Fight or Flight Comics on Instagram. That way you are the first to know where the new location is and when it is opening up. We got a grand opening celebration extravaganza, a lot of stuff going on. You'll hear a lot more about it from me in the weeks to come, but follow them on Instagram and then meet me at the shop this Wednesday to pick up your books if you're in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Now, let's talk about the book that I am most excited for this week. And this was a tough decision. Like, there are two books that are pretty much neck and neck for me, but I'm going to go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 2 from IDW Entertainment. This one is written by Jason Aaron with art. The art is different each issue. This one's Raphael Albuquerque on the interior art. And basically what we've been getting from Jason Aaron's Ninja Turtles so far is, well, the first 4 issues are going to be each individually focused on one turtle. Last issue was the Raphael issue. This issue is the Michelangelo issue. Next issue is the Leonardo issue. But this issue, man, thanks to IDW, I got a chance to read it early, and you are going to love it. This spotlights Michelangelo. What I love about this, without spoiling anything for you, the reader, so far, both of these issues has been like a perfect characterization of the turtle that it's profiling, right? Like Raphael's felt like Raphael, and Michelangelo's absolutely feels like Michelangelo. In it, we get to understand where he is. All the turtles are separated, and over these first 4 issues, they're going to slowly come back together. And so we get sort of the gripes that Michelangelo has, right? Not being taken seriously, being the youngest brother, always being told to grow up, and we see his attempts to respond to all those criticisms and how he feels about his brothers, about where he is in life today, and maybe where he wishes he were. So a really, really great and action-packed issue. I love it. I really love where Michelangelo is to start this issue. But again, I can't spoil it. Maybe follow me on Twitter or something where I can talk about this in more detail. But anyway, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 2. If you have been waiting to like love Ninja Turtles, this book is like slowly bringing us back to a status quo that you would expect while like being respectful of everything that came before and not throwing anything out. So I think you're going to enjoy it. Like, go back, pick up issue 1. I'm sure there's a second printing out there by now, and pick up issue 2 this Wednesday at the shop. It is absolutely going to be one of the most exciting books on your pull list if you are a Turtles fan. Cover price on this one is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Actually, no, I'm not. That cover by Kevin Eastman and Freddie Williams III, that one, that's the one I'm grabbing. Something about Eastman's sort of inks and Freddie's ink wash, like just, it shines, it sings, it's amazing. So that's what I'm getting. Now, since we're talking about the indies, there's a lot of indie books out this week. I do want to just bang the drum one last time for The Few of Far Between issue number 1 by my friend Damian Becton. This book, honestly, we got a long ways to go. We got to raise about $1,300 more dollars, and we've got like 2 days to do it. So again, if you're a fan of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, this book is a sort of sci-fi fantasy in a world far away where an AI robot is trying to destroy the world as we know it. And this little girl has to team up with that AI robot's prototype to stop the destruction. And again, I really want to see this comic get made. So go ahead, head to the link down in the description to back the Kickstarter. And yeah, shout out to Damian Becton. But now let's talk about the rest of my indie pull list, starting with Ain't No Grave, issue number 5. Ain't No Grave, written by Scotty Young with art by Jorge Corona. This book is a treat to look at. Somehow there was a snafu and I didn't actually put issue 3 on my pull list. And so I'm stuck. I got issue 4 and 5 and issues 1 and 2, but I'm still in need of issue 3 so I can continue the story. What I did, I just went ahead and pre-ordered the trade paperback because that's already in the solicits. So if you're like me and you missed out, go ahead and grab it. I really love how action-packed and colorful it was when I was reading it, though. Cover price on this one is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up, we got another series finale. By the way, issue 5 of Ain't No Grave is the finale of that series. But another series finale, we've got Disney Villains Cruella de Vil, issue number 5, written by Sweeney Boo, art by Miriana Puglia. This one, again, I enjoyed it while it was coming out. Some delays took me out of the story, so I'm going to just binge it when it's done. And it'll be done this week. Cover price on it is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up, another one from Dynamite Entertainment that I did actually read. This is Jonny Quest, issue number 2. Jonny Quest, written by Joe Casey with art by Sebastian Perez. I think that's how you say his name. But this book I have been ranting and raving about ever since Free Comic Book Day. They did a Free Comic Book Day preview. And what we learn in that preview is that somehow the entire Quest gang has been transported into the future. I think they're in 2024. And how did that happen? I don't know. We're going to figure that out over the course of the series. And so issue 1, they're slowly realizing where they are or when they are. And there's quite the twist at the end. And in issue 2, well, in issue 1, we kind of learn the future state of a lot of things. There is at least one character that we have not seen any glimpse of in this new future. And I'm hoping that we see that person in issue number 2 and where they are amid all of this stuff. Very action-packed, very fun. And if you've never read a Jonny Quest book or watched an episode of Jonny Quest, you can absolutely pick up this story at issue number 1. Cover price on issue 2, though, is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up, from Dynamite Entertainment. Man, it's a dynamite week, isn't it? Space Ghost, issue number 5. Space Ghost, written by David Pepose, art by Jonathan Loud. This series, I can't say enough good things about it. I have loved every single issue. This issue, most of the issues we've gotten have been done in one issues. The last issue, issue 4, was part 1 of a 2-parter featuring Zorak, and I really enjoyed it. Again, high stakes, action packed, gut wrenching, emotional. And so I expect this finale of that story to be just as good and impactful. Again, I really, really love this series, and there's not much I can say about it this far in without spoiling things, but you're going to learn more about Space Ghost. You're going to learn about Jan and Jace and Blip, and you're going to watch them sort of become a family over the first 5 issues of this series. And this trade paperback is going to be dope whenever it comes out. I don't know if it's solicited or not yet, but you need to grab that. I think it's got the first 5 issues. By the way, the cover you're looking at is not the cover A. I think Francisco Matina does the cover A. I have been grabbing the Michael Cho variant covers for every issue of this series. Issue 5 is his last as the variant cover artist. So I'm excited to have all 5 of these Michael Cho issues because that cover is just great. It's just great. When I think of Space Ghost, I think of this imagery. So anyway, Space Ghost number 5, $4.99. I'm grabbing, I think it's cover C. And the last book on the indie pull list for me this week from Skybound and Image is Transformers, issue number 12. Transformers also, well, written by Daniel Warren Johnson with art by Jorge Corona, who was doing Ain't No Grave as well. I've been enjoying Transformers. It's no secret that I'm not the biggest Transformers fan. and I get lost among a lot of these robot characters. There are some big, high action, high stakes things going on, but it feels like every time an issue comes out, I gotta like go back and reread because I wasn't crazy familiar with the characters to remember what exactly was going on. I'm probably gonna drop this series to trades after this issue, but I don't know. I just love Daniel Warren Johnson so much as a creator. I pretty much will blind buy anything he does, but I got to be smarter about this pull list. Cover price on Transformers number 12, which is the final issue of this story arc, is $3.99, and I'm grabbing cover A. That's it. Those are the indie books on the pull list this week, as long as I stick to this list. Those are going to cost me $27. And against a budget of $50, that means we do not have a lot of room to work with as we head over to the House of Ideas. Let's see what's going on in Marvel Comics, starting with Fantastic Four, issue number 25. Issue 25, it's a milestone issue. It's a celebration issue. And so we're getting an extra sized issue this month from Ryan North. I don't know who's on art. I feel like Carlos Gomez did the last issue. There's been a lot of different artists on this book. But what I appreciate is, besides the fact that most of the Ryan North issues have been done in one, or at the very most, two-part storylines, I do appreciate that this one is going to be regular priced for the extra pages that we're going to get. So $4.99 on that. And this will be a brand new jumping in point, a brand new story arc. So anybody can pick up Fantastic Four 25 this week. Like I said, cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. I heard this might be the last Alex Ross cover. I don't know if that's true. I didn't even look forward at the previews to see if that was true. But if so, that's another reason to grab it. Next up from Marvel is Ultimate Black Panther issue number 8. Ultimate Black Panther, written by Brian Edward Hill, art by Stefano Caselli. Not enough good things I could say about this book either. The stakes definitely got a lot higher as Ra and Khonshu, or the combined force of Moon Knight, have shown up and have made their presence known, and they are on the attack. And so in this issue, it should be a super action-packed issue where the citizens of Wakanda, Black Panther, Killmonger, Storm, everyone that we've seen so far, mounts a defensive. Do you mount an offensive or a defensive? The point is, it's time to take the fight to Ra and Khonshu. And the solicit is teasing that they're going to bring in another Ultimate character. I'm very curious to see who that is, and if they're going to tie into some of the other Ultimate series, which so far have been pretty individually siloed. I know they're teasing a 1 year in sort of crossover event with all the Ultimate titles, but I don't know if this is going to be like a sort of first tease as to how some of these worlds are connected. But anyway, cover price on this one is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And next up on the pull list is the other book. This is the book that almost got my pick of the week, or most anticipated title. This is Uncanny X-Men issue number 2. Uncanny X-Men, written by Gail Simone with art by David Marquez. This book has been great. I enjoyed issue 1 a lot. We sort of got the new status quo for this Uncanny X-Men team: Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Wolverine. There's someone else on the team. I don't think it's just those 4, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just those 4. But anyway, overall in the From the Ashes era, there's a lot going on, and we seem to be kind of going back to an old status quo. The mutants are hated and feared, and they are, reacting how you might expect to being hated and feared. Rogue and Cyclops, it's been teased that they are opposed ideologically as to how they're going to deal with their current state they find themselves in. And so the last issue of X-Men teased an argument that they had that you got to read Uncanny number 2 to get the full context of, or to get Rogue's side of that argument. Who else is it? Rogue, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Gambit. Me. Maybe it's just those 4. I feel like there's a 5th, but whatever. Anyway, so we've got this new status quo, and while like sort of in regular X-Men, we're getting like these people manifesting mutant power super late in life. This book seems to be very much about how mutants have to live underground and they are being rounded up in a way. And so we need the X-Men to kind of come and show up and defend them. And it's been really interesting. We've got a group of mutants, it seems, that is being hunted and is going to show up in this issue as the outliers. I'm very curious to see how they are going to interact with this actual X-Men team. Anyway, really good stuff being seeded here. This is probably my favorite of the new From the Ashes line of X-Men comics. So anyway, Uncanny #2 is out this week. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on my Marvel pull list this week is Wolverine issue #1. Now, Wolverine, this is like a skeptical pull because, you know, all respect to Saladin Ahmed, I've not read any of his books and been like, oh, I love Saladin Ahmed on XYZ title. And at the same time, right, like I feel like there's already too many X-Men books. But this art, dang, I didn't write down. I think it's Martin Kokolo. And the colors are by Brian Valenza, who is one of my favorite colorists in comics. He actually colors the Miles Morales comic ongoing right now. And so because of the overall strength of the creative team, I'm looking forward to this book. Even though I don't know how long it's going to last on the pull list, even though like Wolverine is one of my favorite characters in comics. Like it is actually a pure coincidence that I am wearing a Wolverine t-shirt right now, because that just happens to be what I wore to the gym before I filmed this video. But anyway, I enjoy Wolverine. I don't know if I need him in his own book. The 50 issues we got from Benjamin Percy, quite honestly, are enough Wolverine for me for a while. But hey, we're going back to the well, so let's take a drink. Cover price on this one is $4.99. Cover A is dope. I think I'm going to get the John Tyler Christopher negative space variant though, because why not? It just looks really cool. $4.99 on that either way. And that's it for the Marvel comics on the pull list. Those are going to cost me $20 if I stick to the list. So if you're keeping track at home, I'm already $47 into my $50 budget, and we haven't even gotten to the distinguished competition. So at DC Comics, there are two books on the pull list, which means I'm over budget. But the first is a finale of sorts. This is Batman and Robin issue #13. This is Joshua Williamson's last issue of Batman and Robin. I think Juan Ferreira is on art this time around. I fell off of Batman and Robin a long time ago, but when I found out that Williamson's run was going to end and Philip Kennedy Johnson is going to be writing Batman and Robin moving forward, I was like, all right, cool, sign me up. And so the book isn't leaving the pull list, but I'm excited to kind of binge all of this and see where Williamson's run ended up, because he had been writing Damian Wayne, who is my favorite Robin, for like the better part of 3 years now, and had been doing a stellar job at it. So I'm curious to see how he finishes his time and how we collect all of that across like the 3 different series. But anyway, Batman and Robin issue 13, cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A, and the next book on the pull list is Green Lantern issue #15. Green Lantern, written by Jeremy Adams. This one is an Absolute Power tie-in. I've been sort of hit and miss on Absolute Power tie-ins. Like, I've not enjoyed the Wonder Woman tie-ins as much. I've not enjoyed the Batman tie-ins as much. And so chances are I won't enjoy this one as much, but I'm not going to like skip the tie-ins on series that I'm already subscribed to. So there we go. Sorry I couldn't give it higher praise than that. But Green Lantern issue 15, cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it. Those 2 books make up my entire DC pull list. So those are going to cost me $10, which, again, if you're keeping track at home, brings me up to a grand total before taxes and before my 10% subscriber discount of $57, which means I'm around $52 for the week. So not bad. I don't mind being over budget $2 to $4, but I can't make a habit of that. We got to stick to budgets around here. money don't grow on trees. Anyway, grand total is $57, which means there's no room for me to grab any of these books that are on my radar unless I go further into the red. But I'm going to shout them out for you anyway. So from Distillery Comics, this is Time Waits, issue number 1. Written by Chip Zdarsky and David Brothers. I think they're a writing team, or maybe David Brothers does art as well. But Marcus Toe is also on art, who you might recognize from most recently X-Force with Jeffrey Thorne. I love Marcus Toe's artwork, and that's what has this book on the radar. Besides the fact that Distillery, a lot of their books have been a lot more mature, like, you know, sort of sexy time books. And so I've stayed far away from Distillery up until this point. But this one is a sci-fi book about a guy from the future who was sent back to the past, our present, to complete a mission, presumably to kill a bunch of people. And instead of doing what he was supposed to do, he like falls in love and raises, or, you know, starting a family and all this stuff. Think the Saiyan saga or the Raditz saga of Dragon Ball Z. This is absolutely Goku's story. But anyway, now, you know, we're 10 years into the future and these people have come to collect. So the people that sent this dude on the mission are now coming after him. And so we're going to see how life changes for him. This sounds really cool, but it's a magazine size book, which is hard to store. It's got a cover price of $8.99, and well, that's it. It's got a cover price of $8.99. So I'm probably not going to grab it, but it does sound really interesting. I might wait for a hardcover. Next up on the radar, this is Avengers Assemble, issue number 1, written by Steve Orlando with art by Corey Smith, who you might recognize from the Sabretooth War. He did art during the Sabretooth War. So really good artist. But this basically is a new Avengers team that Captain America is assembling or forming after the events of Blood Hunt. And so it ties into a lot of stuff Jed MacKay had been doing, but it's new stuff. I don't necessarily need another Avengers book. I wasn't crazy enjoying the original Avengers book. And I'm only pulling it now because Storm is on the team. And I'm only interested in this one because Monica Rambeau's on the team. But it's probably not going to be a pickup for me. Cover price is $4.99 though. When I read the description, this sounds like the Avengers are getting an X-Force type team. So it definitely sounds like an interesting premise if you're interested. Next up on the radar, a book that I'm probably going to buy. This is Absolute Power Task Force 7. Absolute Power Task Force 7, issue number 6. So Task Force 7, following a bunch of these Amazo robots and what they're doing and all their missions and stuff. Again, Absolute Power tie-in stuff that I have not been following. The only reason I'm interested in this issue is because it's written by Stephanie Williams with art by Kari Randolph. You do not see interior art from Kari Randolph often, at least not in Big 2 stuff. And so I'm curious to see how they're handling that. This is basically a Mazo robot attacking Themyscira. So we're going to see what's up with Nubia and the rest of the Amazons on Themyscira. And I can't stress enough, it's drawn by Kari Randolph and it's written by Stephanie Williams, 2 friends of the show. So anyway, hopefully it's good because I'm absolutely going to buy it. Cover price is $3.99. And those are all the books that I found that are on my radar. Let me know what you're checking for, though, in the comments down below. If you want to keep the conversation going, you can join us on Discord or in our Facebook group. Links to both are in the description down below. We'd love to have you in our community of comic book fans, or dope fiends, as they like to be known. Because, of course, comics are dope. Anyway, that's going to do it for me in this video. I'll see you guys in another one real soon. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.